The public suggestion is that you subsequently tried to escape from Nigeria.
Well, you know, when you are dealing with the level of power play that I saw during that particular period, it's amazing. In the first instance, I was not imprisoned in Nigeria, so I could not flee. I was a free man in Nigeria. I went to where I wanted to go. President Obasanjo and I met maybe once or twice every 3 months. And let me say here, Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria, who I must submit, I would still want to consider a friend if he chooses to come before the world and tell the truth. Obasanjo knew that I was traveling, where I was going to, and when. And let me just explain further. Obasanjo had invited me at the airport in Abuja. He informed me that he was on his way to the United States to meet with George Bush. But throughout the 3 years in Nigeria, Obasanjo had constantly reminded me that Nigeria was under tremendous pressure to quote-unquote turn me over, and he had said he could not do that. He came under so much pressure that even there are documentary reports of even the former Secretary of State Colin Powell even coming to Obasanjo's rescue saying, well, look, don't hold this man responsible. It was a deal. That's how Taylor got over there.
Who said that?
A former Secretary of State, Colin Powell, in defense of Obasanjo's actions. He met with me and told me that he was under tremendous pressure on many occasions, but that he was on his way to the United States, and he knew that he would come under additional pressure, but he would not yield to such pressures. And in fact, Obasanjo said to me that Kofi Annan had called him and warned him that he should expect pressure in Washington, D.C. And I said to him that I wanted to travel. Now, I'm sorry that we do not have a map here. I think for the judges to see this.
Maybe at a later stage.
Very good. Calabar, Cross River State, is approximately, I would say, under 50 miles from the Cameroonian border. Where I was stopped in an area of Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria is about 1,000 miles from Calabar. Now, in an area called Maiduguri. I was en route. Obasanjo had said to me that he was on his way to the States and that I could go to where I wanted to go, and when he got back, he would, inform me and I could return. I was en route. Now, the news reports that came out said that Mr. Taylor was trying to escape to Cameroon. Now, for God's sake, anyone wanting to escape, if in fact he was being sought or he was imprisoned, neither of those applied to me. Why would I drive 1,000 miles from Calabar to the border with Chad and leave Cameroon 50 miles away? Now, one would have to be crazy to believe that. Obasanjo knew I was going to see an old friend, Idris Deby, in Chad. Idris and I had been friends from Burkina Faso days before he launched his revolution. He's a personal friend of mine. I was being escorted by Nigerian Secret Service, Nigerian Security Police, driven by Nigerians in a 4-car convoy. Now, unless you judges and the world believes I am stupid, which I'm not, I could not have been escaping with Nigerian Secret Service, armed police, driven by them, traveling 1,000 miles. Now, why my dear friend told the world that I was escaping, I swear, maybe one day he will come and tell these judges and the world. Now, I do know he was under a lot of pressure. I do know this. I remember he said to me at the airport, look, maybe after this third term problem, I'll see what we can do. But he was under tremendous pressure. And he left. I get to the border, and I'm stopped. I am amazed. What do you mean I'm stopped? All of the Nigerian security get out. These border people say they are border security, and they are ordered to arrest me. I was arrested.
Can we come back to that in a moment? Just
Yes.
clarify something before we forget.
Yes.
What do you mean when you mention the third term?
At that time in Nigeria, and Obasanjo and I had spoken as friends several times about it. The Constitution of Nigeria gives 2 terms to the presidency. There was a discussion in Nigeria at the time where Obasanjo was trying to seek to probably in some shape or form amend the Constitution to seek a 3rd term, and there were a lot of dissension to that particular thing, and it was causing a lot of problems. So he said to me, well, I'll be back maybe after this 3rd term situation. I'll know what to do. And so this is what he mentioned to me.
However,
Mr. Griffiths, throughout Mr. Taylor's testimony, certain names have been mentioned of people. For instance, the last one I don't think is on the record. I could be wrong.
Obasanjo.
But I think it was Idris Kebi or
No, Debbie, the president of Chad, Idris. I think it's Idris Debbie.
All right, thank you. Well, Mr. Griffiths, for the sake of the record, if you could make sure that where possible, those names mentioned by Mr. Taylor are spelt for the record.
I will do, Mr. President. Yes. We're at the border now, Mr. Taylor.
Mm-hmm. I am stopped and told that I'm needed back in Calabar. For what? I say, well, we are arresting you to send you back. We have orders from Abuja. Well, I said, who's in Abuja? I said, the president is in Washington, D.C. So I said, well, these are our orders. I was arrested. Kept for several hours, not taken back to Calabar. I was treated like a real common criminal. The border security were extremely rude. I was handcuffed. The Nigerian Secret Service and other officials with me said nothing. What was said at a particular time, because I said, but you people are escorting me. Look at what's happening. I said, well, this is a different operation, and once we hear now there are orders from Abuja, we can do nothing about it. They arrested me, put me on a plane, and flew me to Monrovia. Not to Abuja, not to Calabar, directly to Monrovia. I arrived at the airport, and I am turned over to some United Nations security that fly me into Freetown.